official healthcare partner of UTSA Athletics. By Chicken and Pickle. Good food,
Stop
good
to
friends,
get the five real
great
quick.
fun.
Say something.
Also brought to you
1, 2,
by
3, 4, 5.
1, 2, 3,
Bud
4,
Light.
5.
Easy to drink, easy
Good.
to enjoy. Enjoy
One more time.
responsibly.
1, 2, 3,
and
4,
by
5.
Credit Human.
Yeah,
That's
the
as loud as I
official
can
credit
talk.
That's
union
good.
of the UTSA
Too much yelling in the
Roadrunners.
gym.
Now,
Stand by.
with head coach Jeff Traylor, here's the voice of the Roadrunners, Andy Everett.
All righty, we are back out here at Chicken and Pickle. It's time for the Coaches Radio Show this evening. As I mentioned in the afternoon show, Jeff has got the week off. The players have the week off as they get ready for Rice coming up a week from Saturday. And so we get a chance to talk with some of the other coaches. And we'll talk with the golf coaches, Karen Aston, the women's basketball coach. We'll have Derek Pittman on the phone as they're on the way up to Denton for a match tomorrow night with North Texas. But we start the show this evening with Carol Price-Torok, who is the women's volleyball coach. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
All right, let's talk about, you've got incredibly young team. I was looking at the roster, 11, I think, of 16 are sophomores and freshmen.
Yes, we are incredibly young, which is exciting. Also, sometimes can be a little stressful.
Talk about building a team with that youth, because obviously freshmen and sophomores tend to not know much. You got to teach them, but it's got to be a kind of encouraging to know that they're going to grow up and they're going to be better as they get better.
Yeah, I think right now that's what we're going through is a few growing pains. We see really big glimpses of doing things really, really well, and then we give away points and kind of self-sabotage sometimes. But I think that's part of youth. But we're seeing some really exciting things out of our freshman outsides. Our middle group is really, really young, which is a really, really important position for us. And our setters are really young. So we've got some key positions that are really, really young.
All right, you got to take this group on a summer trip this year to
Yes.
Europe. Talk about that experience.
It was just phenomenal. Obviously, the travel itself was great, but being able to be with the team so much and do so many activities together outside of volleyball with no stress of winning and losing. Sure, we competed really, really hard, but there wasn't that stressor of if we lose, this happens. It was just play, get to know each other. All of our freshmen and transfers got to come with us, so that was a huge plus. We got to see some pretty cool stuff.
Where'd you go?
We were in Hungary. In Budapest, and then we went to Maribor, Slovenia, which was hands down, I think, our team's favorite. Then we went through Italy to Venice, Rome, and Florence.
Now, you were telling me last year when we talked for a basketball feature that European volleyball is vastly different, and that it was good to get young players to see how much better and different and things like that. Talk about what they did experience.
Yeah, so you only get 6 subs in Europe, where we get 15. So we can take our players out in the back row. They can't. So the players are a little bit more all-purpose, all-around players. They use a different ball that moves a lot. So it really tested us passing-wise, which was really, really great to put us in some of those pressure situations. And they grow up in volleyball schools. You know, they don't play club volleyball and go to school.
Right.
They're in a school that is for volleyball, and they go to school. So definitely a little bit of a different beast over there.
All right, let's talk about your team this year. And who are some of the leaders on the team and players that you count on for that stability?
Yeah, hands down, one of our biggest leaders is Mia Sorensen, our returning all-conference opposite. She gets things done on both sides of the ball, blocking and offensively. And she's doing really, really big stuff on the defensive side of things for us right now. Kai Bailey is a sophomore middle for us. Really, really physical player, 6'4" player out of Atlanta. And she's really coming on offensively. So it's really fun to see those two get after it. And I'd say one of our biggest veterans is our libero, Aaliyah Giroux. Really trust her, covering a lot of ground and a lot of court.
And then the young players, where's some of that talent starting to rise?
Yeah, the youth for us right now is in our setting position. We have a freshman and sophomore setting in our 6-2 system, Morgan Durgans and Anna Sokol. And I think they're doing a really good job distributing the ball. Our freshman, Allie Tribe, who graduated early and was with us last spring, is really starting to come on here now that conference play is starting. And then we have a freshman middle blocker in Caroline Treadwell, who's really starting to do some really good stuff as well.
All right, the challenges of building a team, and you got here a couple years ago to start this. Where do you begin? Obviously, I'm sure there's some good talent in San Antonio, but you can recruit nationwide, worldwide these days. So how do you go about spreading the brand of UTSA to get the best talent?
Yeah, I think for us, we'll always start at home. We have two San Antonio kids on our team right now. We're recruiting some local talent. The 25 and 26 class, we have a 25 DS Libero coming in from Floresville. So it's always great to get talent from home. And we really want to put a stamp around Texas and continue to build up Texas players. But we also have 2 internationals right now and an international coming in next year. So whoever's interested and wants to come put up points for us, we're going to look at them.
And nothing against American players, but being around basketball players from UTSA that come from Europe and from other parts of the country, I think they're forced to grow up at an earlier age. Do you see that maturity from your international players?
Yeah, look, one of our players at the age of, I think she was 12, 13, goes and lives in a dorm and does volleyball in school. You know, at 12 years old, my son's 11. I can't see him living in a dorm doing soccer full time.
Yeah.
So they definitely just have a different understanding. They don't really have those relationships with other kids and other teams. They're not scared of other teams. They don't know UAB from Joe Schmo, you know, so they're going to go up and battle, and they're used to playing older women, older players, more experienced players, so a lot of times they're really fearless.
I remember a couple of UTSA's basketball players from Central Europe saying, "You don't like the Convo? This is the Madison Square Garden compared to where I played."
Correct, yeah. There was a place that we played in Europe, and it had basically cement floors. I mean, it was just a notch up from cement. So yeah, that we sometimes take for granted all the things that we have, for sure.
I remember Mitar Stojanovic played for basketball for the team for a while, and I said, "What do you think of going to places like Buc-ee's and Cracker Barrel or HEB?" And it's like, they don't have this in Europe.
Correct.
You can get cheese, but you got one choice. You can get a candy bar, you got 2 choices.
Yeah, everything's bigger in Texas too, right? I mean, a little
Absolutely.
bit bigger, a little bit better.
Yeah,
so.
I think they actually. I think one of them told me they actually had to take pictures of Buc-ee's because there was no way people were going to believe what they saw over there.
All-encompassing store. Go to Buc-ee's. You get a little bit of everything.
You got to go anytime you go east or north.
Exactly.
All right, the conference. American Conference season is underway, and where's the challenges there?
We have a brutal schedule. We have 13 teams in the conference, so we play an uneven schedule. We have some really, really great teams that we play twice in Rice, North Texas, Tulsa, and Tulane. So definitely up for a challenge. I'm excited about that, but we got to bring our A game every day, you know, and take advantage of the games at home. That's a really big one for us, is taking care of games at home.
When's the next home game?
We are home next Wednesday. We play Tulane. Huge game for us midweek there. And Tulane's really in a rebuilding stage as us and super physical, so it'll be a battle at the net for sure.
Awesome. Carol, thanks so much for joining us. Best of luck with volleyball, and we'll look forward to more and more success. All right, it's the Jeff Traylor Radio Show presented by UT Health San Antonio. Every time the Roadrunners score a touchdown this year and make a 2-point conversion, it's an 8-point possession. And one lucky fan will win $888 thanks to Wainwright Injury Attorneys, the official injury attorneys of UTSA Athletics. We had several lucky winners last season, so go to the promotions page on the UTSA app and register to win your $888 today. And don't forget, you can win a brand new 2024 Nissan Frontier pickup truck in the Ancira Punt for a Pickup contest. Go to goutsa.com/promotions to register today. Then you could be one of 3 finalists on the field at the Temple game to punt to win a brand new truck, courtesy of the Ancira family of dealerships and All-American Car Wash. continue. The Jeff Traylor Radio Show. Jeff will be back with us next Wednesday ahead of the Rice game. Hey, fans, Texas Farm Bureau Insurance members can get 2 free tickets to Roadrunners basketball, baseball, and football games when you redeem online. Become a Texas Farm Bureau Insurance member and visit GoUTSA.com/TFB tickets to learn more. And a reminder that every 2 seconds in the United States, someone needs blood. And every time you donate blood, you're saving up to 3 lives. Visit southtexasblood.org to schedule your donation, because when you give, they live. It's time to talk golf with Matt Wernecke, who's the men's golf coach at UTSA. And you guys are coming off a big tournament last week out at TPC San Antonio. I know this is a big boost for college golf in San Antonio. You got a bunch of great teams coming in, and you crowned a champion, I believe, from Virginia, that is going to get to play in the Texas Open next year.
He is. Yeah, it was going to be probably a top 10 strongest tournaments of the year when it comes to college golf, which is what Valero and Larson and his VTO team were kind of after. It's great to bring that to San Antonio, right? It's an elite college event, brings it to our backyard, helps, brings it to our town, which is great. Ben James, who won it from Virginia, he's a top 5 amateur in the world, so that's also a big get. OU won it as a team; they're going to be a top 5 team in the country rankings-wise. So it ended up being a great week.
I talk about this all the time. It's great that you have TPC San Antonio as a home facility. It is one of the most difficult golf courses on the PGA Tour year in and year out. And I always say, if you can play there, you can play anywhere, and that's what you guys get to train at every day.
It's true, and honestly, they're great partners. They bend over backwards to do things for us, which is pretty unique, honestly, for golf courses to be that open to a college team and wanting to help us and benefit us. It's brutal hard. I mean, the Oaks is just it's as hard as you want to get. Our guys have to learn how to drive the golf ball and play. If you don't out there, then you just get
you're going to lose it.
Exactly right. So, we have a lot of new guys, and some of these guys are kind of learning that the hard way, to be honest, right now. But it's a great test. If you can play there, you can play anywhere.
Yeah, and the fact that Ben James shot 12 under for 3 rounds, that's 16 under. And I know the conditions aren't exactly like what the Valero Texas Open will be, but they're close. And the winning score is usually 18 to 20. So he's right in the ballpark the way he's played that golf course, that tournament.
He is, yeah. And I mean, I could almost argue that, when you have the actual Bermuda rough versus the overseed,
it's harder.
I think it is, because you have to learn how to, read lies and get jumpers and balls come out dead. So I think there's an aspect of where it's tougher when you don't drive it in play. But it's hard to have any kind of defense with a guy who's playing that well.
Talk about your team this year, and you had to bring some new guys in because you lost a couple of really good players in the past.
We did, yeah. We've got 5 out of 8 are brand new, and so we've got 1 freshman. We brought 2 out of the portal, 2 from the JUCO ranks. So we have some experience, but they're still new, right? They're having to adjust to living in a new town, getting to know their teammates again, learning the golf courses, schedule, the whole thing. So we've just played once, so we got started a hair later than usual. We have great depth, and so I think we've got anyone that qualifies. I feel pretty confident with rolling them out, which is nice. And so we're just rolling out the golf ball, saying, guys, go earn it with your clubs this year. Not doing a lot of coaches' picks right now. Just saying, hey, whoever earns it, earns it. I trust most of you to go play on the road.
Who played the best at VTO last week?
I think it was Kalen Delaney, who's a transfer. He came from the University of Arkansas, Texas kid. I think you're right.
I'm pretty sure. Now that you said it, I remember seeing the release.
Yeah. And so, I mean, like I say, we do have a lot of learning. I'm still learning these guys. You know how the transfer portal world works. It's not the normal recruiting. It's kind of resumes. You take people's word for it. Call people you trust, and you say, all right, man, come on. If you want to be here, let's go. So it's not the normal. I've recruited you for a year. So there's a lot of me getting to know these guys as well, and kind of who they are under the gun versus just at home. But I like what I'm seeing right now.
I see a lot of college players, high school players. They can hit it miles. If you're young and you've got eye-hand coordination with today's equipment and the ball, they're going to hit it 300 plus. And wait till they get 50 or 60, they may not hit it that far.
Right.
But where do you see the strengths besides that with the players you have in? What do they do well besides hit it far?
Honestly, I like some of the short game that our guys have this year. I think most of our guys hit it at least far enough. If not, hit it a long way out there. There's an amount of speed you have to play college golf. But I like our guys have some pretty good hands around the greens, chipping, bunkers, pitching, and that kind of stuff, which is nice. And so it's just going to be a matter for us. We probably need to drive it a hair better than we are currently. Just get it in play a little bit more. hit some greens so they can actually take advantage of the short games.
You got a tournament coming up in Dallas, the Trinity Invitational. They used to play the Byron Nelson on this golf course. So talk about this venue and this tournament coming up.
They did, yeah. So we'll take off on Friday. Yeah, I mean, so this one's super unique. It's a link style course, if you can call it that, in the middle of Texas, which is pretty unique.
No ocean, but linksy.
Correct, but linksy, yeah. So it's pretty unique. I mean, it's always in great shape. We're gonna have to play well. We're gonna have to make birdies. You know, the greens they're huge greens with tons of slope. Not a lot of rough, so you've got some space off the tee to hit the golf to hit it in play. So it's going to be about hitting wedges close and putting. You know, being good at lag putting because you're going to get some 40, 50 footers out there.
So what's it like playing a golf course every single day where if you don't pipe it down the middle, you're going to lose it, and now you can hit it anywhere, but you got to go score.
Yeah, I think there's the danger of sometimes you feel like, oh, it's just wide open. I can just swing as hard as I want. You still got to control the golf ball, you know, a little bit to still score. It's going to be important to, you know, they do have fescue type stuff out there. It's just a further off. But if you hit a foul ball, you're going to find some trouble, and then it's going to get hard. But if you do control your tee shots, you can make some birdies. So we're going to need to be good.
Every college team has transfer portal, NIL, all kinds of things going on. That trickles down to golf too, doesn't it?
It does. Yeah. I mean, like I said, you know, we lost someone to the portal last year, and then we picked up 2 more guys in the portal this year. So it's just, you know, it's just the world we're in. In an ideal world, I would love to bring in my own guys and develop them. That's kind of what I would like to do. But at the same time, it's hard to tell a kid who's got a couple years of experience that wants to come to you no, because you bring in a 20-year-old who's proven he can do it, a little more mature. They're used to college. They can be a big asset.
We're seeing this on the PGA Tour. There are a lot of athletes that have chosen golf that could have played other sports. Now, maybe they wouldn't have been college basketball players or football players, but at an 8th grade or 9th grade or 10th grade, mom and dad said, you're not going to get hit in the head anymore.
Right.
Go play golf.
Right.
And so we're seeing more and more athletes on the tour and more athletes in college golf as well.
Yeah, it's true, and I think that's why you're seeing guys who hit it so far, because they're just bigger and faster, because they're, like I say, they're athletes who chose golf, not I'm going to play golf because I can't do anything else, which is kind of what was the case in the past. I mean, I actually like guys who are kind of built that way, who played baseball, played basketball, did other things, and then got into about 7th or 8th grade. Like, man, I just love golf. You can just tell they've been around team sports. They've been coached hard. They've been competitive. And when they get there, you can just tell how much faster they are. They're just stronger. They're just athletic, and you can see it, you know, all of them. I would love to have a team full of guys that are built just like that. And I take my chances with that lineup.
All right, Matt, thanks so much. Good luck in Dallas this week, and we'll see you down the road. Hope you have a great season.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, that's Matt Wernecke. He's the golf coach for the men's team at UTSA. You know, we have heroes all over the place, and heroes out here tonight, and USAA honors the heroes who serve in our military as the official military appreciation on the Jeff Traylor Radio Show. And UT Health San of UTSA Athletics. See how UT Health San Antonio's brightest minds are making lives better at WeMakeLivesBetter.org. It's the Jeff Traylor Radio Show on the UTSA Sports Network. There are thousands of prices on the things you use to gear up for the game, so you can fill up your cart without emptying your wallet. When it comes to HEB, no store does more than your HEB, a proud supporter of UTSA athletics. And enjoy a Bud Light while cheering on the Roadrunners this year. Bud Light is the official beer of UTSA athletics. Birds up, buds up all season long from Bud Light. Summer Batiste is the women's golf coach at UTSA, and she joins us on the program today. And welcome to the show. How's your team this year? You had to make a few roster changes after some graduation last year.
Yeah, we had one of our best players in UTSA history leave us, so we knew we were going to fill that. But you know, we've played 3 events with 4 of the returners, and we have a freshman in the lineup who's getting a ton of experience right now.
That senior that left last year, Cameron Carrion, I guess is on the Symetra Tour, correct?
She is playing some Epson now.
Epson,
yep.
okay. Yeah.
She's playing Epson event. She's playing the women's WAPT event that's sponsored by Wernecke. So she's getting a lot of good experience and playing pretty much week out.
Olivia Williams, Maria Batiste, and Daniela Bonce have made some headlines for you recently. Talk about their games.
Yeah, it's really fun to see 3 of our players kind of in the mix each week. So, you know, Danny was a conference winner last year, so I look forward to seeing more of that and hopefully more wins. I think Olivia is a fantastic player. She played really well this past week at Iowa. The greens were firm, fast, kind of something similar she's used to in England. And Maria Batiste is our Spaniard, who is one of the biggest competitors, and I think we're going to see a lot from her this year as well.
Olivia I know goes back home in the summertime to England. I got to meet her last year at the Old Course of all places. But just talk about how her game's improved and making that transition from European golf to U.S. golf.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, over here in America, you know, you have to hit the ball a little bit higher. You can't play out a total. It's kind of more of a carry. So she's worked really hard on getting her driver going at a little higher loft and irons as well. And we saw a lot of that this week. But one thing that's really, really just impressive about her game is her ability to chip. And she's also a leader in that aspect, as well as she'll kind of teach our Americans how to use those lower lofted clubs around the greens and how to create spin.
Yeah, we don't do that very well.
Without having height. So
we're grabbing the wedge every time.
Yeah, the 58. Yeah, that's the last club she uses. So I love her because of that. You know, she's going to use her 50 a lot around the greens, and she really gets our kids thinking about, oh, yeah, you can hit this shot.
That's awesome. All right, you're going to play a tournament in Oklahoma next month or this month, and also up in San Marcos to close out the fall season.
Yeah, we'll play. I love Tulsa golf. I think it's some of the best designers have golf courses in Tulsa, so we go back every year. This one's Cedar Ridge. They've hosted a live event out there. They
used to host the Women's Open there back in the 80s, I think.
They've used to host. It gives you a lot of great looks. You got to hit the ball well. The greens will be similar to what we have here in Texas, so I'm looking forward to that because past couple events we've played some pretty interesting greens, so they'll probably be a little familiar for us. And we got about a week to get ready, so we got some time to get our ball striking back in order.
And I like Kissing Tree up in San Marcos. That's a fun golf course. How does your team like that course?
They love it. It's wide open. It's very different off the tee compared to TBC. But I think the great thing about it is it gives you a lot of birdie looks, and we don't have that at home. So being comfortable with going low is something we're really going to need out there and firing at every pin.
And we're talking to Matt about the facility at TPC and the fact that you have your own little setup there with an indoor facility when it gets cold or wet. So you've got a lot of opportunities out there. And I know coaches always talk about facilities.
Yeah, I can't believe we're members out there. You know, our kids have full membership, which is just so unique in college golf. They can play anytime they want. And what's great about it is it's 2 courses that are set up to always host tour players. You know, the Hill Country provides you a lot of wind, so when the wind kicks up in the spring, we'll be ready for that. But just the membership and, you know, how we're welcome out there is really a unique thing. And the amount of amenities is impressive.
There wasn't much good that came from COVID except for the fact that more people picked up golf, and especially young girls, 7th, 8th, 9th graders. I know from talking to some of the instructors in town as soon as that happened and afterwards, they started teaching a lot of young girls, which helps get the sport going even more so than it has in the past.
It does, yeah. We're seeing a lot of recruits who, probably dropped their other sports a little quicker, and they've picked up golf at an earlier age, which is really exciting. They love the game. They have the perspective as it's a game that they can share with others, whether it's their family, their friends. They enjoy competing, and they just enjoy also the travel aspect of it now that.
With basketball having the Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese competition and competitive nature and more exposure to that, I think it's trickled down to other women's sports. We're seeing LPGA Tour events get primetime coverage that they never did before, and I can't imagine that doesn't help but grow women's golf as well.
Yeah, the exposure is exciting, and we're seeing it on the college golf aspect too, right? They're starting to show some events on ESPN, and it's just something I've never seen. So it's really cool to see, players and coaches out there that we have relationships with playing in some of these high caliber events.
It'd been nice if you had that back in the day. Huh?
Yeah, it would be.
Yeah, that would have been awesome there. All right, recruiting. I mentioned we do have a boom in women's golf. Talk about where you get your players from.
Yeah, we're all over the world. We're trying to get the best in Texas, and then we're trying to get the best players. And it doesn't really matter where they're from. What we're looking at is obviously if they can be a competitive player and a great student athlete. I think what's really unique about this game is a lot of players from international come and play in the States, and they understand how big college golf is. So we have, a kid from Spain, England, Canada, Mexico, and then, two Americans, and then we're looking at a German player coming in. So we look everywhere.
And obviously this will be the last of the fall series, and then it cranks back up again in the winter/spring.
Yeah, we have a long season. So we've played 3 events. We're kind of gathering who we are as competitors on the golf course. We've seen, as far as a team, they're great on and off the golf course with each other, but we're kind of getting our identity for when we're out there competing. And it's great because then we're going to build on that in the off season and hopefully go in and have a good spring and lead up till April.
Awesome. Thanks, Summer, for joining us. It's always great to talk golf with you, and hope the team has a successful fall here.
Thank you, Andy. Thank you for having me.
All right, that's Summer Batiste. She's the head women's golf coach, and their season continues in about a week and a half up in Tulsa. We're at a Chicken and Pickle where you get good food, good friends, great fun, delicious food, cold drinks, yard games, and pickleball for all. Chicken and Pickle at UTSA Boulevard and Vance Jackson. And don't forget, Texas Farm Bureau Insurance members get 2 free tickets to Roadrunners football, basketball, and baseball games when you redeem online. Become a Texas Farm Bureau Insurance member and visit goutsa.com/TFB tickets to learn more. We'll visit with Karen Aston and talk some women's basketball next on the Jeff Traylor Radio Show on the UTSA Sports Network. Season Roadrunner fans, touchdowns mean more than 6 points for every touchdown UTSA scores at home. The Texas Animal Defense League will receive $1,000 to North Park Subaru. Last season, North Park Subaru donated $27,000 to the Texas Animal Defense League. Thanks to 27 UTSA touchdowns, it's North Park Subaru's TDs for charity. Let's talk some women's basketball as the season will get underway with the exhibition game against St. Mary's on November 1st, so we're 30 days away from that. And Karen Aston joins us. I asked you how practice was going, and you said, well, it's kind of the same as yesterday because we now are a year-round sport, basically. So I know that you're getting, though, excited to get the season underway here pretty soon.
Yeah, I am, and practice is just so different than it used to be. There was this October 15th date that everybody started, and you had Midnight Madness and all of that, and now the rules have changed so much that you do feel like there's not like an end to a beginning or anything like that. You just feel like you're practicing all the time. So I'm actually giving our group the weekend off. I always do that kind of somewhere in October, so they're off this weekend, and then Monday try to make the day special and try to have like we're starting, and it's a big day for us.
You made a good run last year in the American Conference tournament. It came up a couple of games shy. I know that it was heartbreaking in the last few minutes of the fourth quarter of that semifinal game.
Don't remind me of that.
Yeah, I know. But that's something to build on for this year, isn't it?
It is, and I think our players. I mean, we have a lot of returners, and they remember that feeling, and they've had some drive in their rear ends, and really don't want to feel that way again. And we have this little hashtag every year. Everybody does it all over the country. And last year's ours was cash in, and it was the philosophy behind that was make deposits every day, and at the end of the year you hope you cash in and go to the tournament. And I asked them this year if they wanted to change it, and they were like, no, we didn't get it done, and we want to keep it, and we hope we cash in March this year. And
one of those players coming back is Jordan Jenkins, who's a fabulous talent, and she's now a couple of years removed from her surgery and her injury. So talk about how she's going to perform again this year and hopefully stay injury-free as well.
Yeah, I mean, you knock on wood with that. I mean, Jordan's obviously dealt with a couple of injuries in her career, and you want the young lady to be healthy, and not just for our team, but just for her own self. I mean, she's such a fabulous talent, and I pray that she stays healthy this year because she loves the game, and she's a joy to watch, and I want her to end up having a great year.
We've talked about her in the past being a potential WNBA player down the road. What do you think of her pro potential?
Oh, I think it's all there. I mean, there's no question. Her health has been, at any point it would be the only question mark as far as Jordan is concerned. She's just so unbelievably offensively talented, and she loves the game. She spends the amount of time that it takes to be a pro. It's just, she's got to stay healthy, and that we all know that. It's kind of the elephant in the room, but I think as long as she does that, she's got they're adding teams in the WNBA.
That's awesome.
They've added 2 already. There's going to be a 3rd, and I think that's going to help players like Jordan that, probably to an extent are going to have to prove themselves in camp and prove themselves along the way. I think that's going to help her for opportunity.
Well, there were
along with a lot of others.
There were 36 players drafted in the WNBA last year, and I think 16 of them made rosters. So that shows you how competitive it is. So opening up 4 more teams will be great.
For sure. That's huge.
All right, let's talk about this year's roster and the players coming back and the things you can build on. Where do you see other strengths on your team?
Gosh, I'm excited just because I think we have a lot more pieces this year. I think that we have a lot more versatility. We're shooting the ball better than I've seen us shoot it since I've been here, and just have more options. I think we're more athletic, a little faster at every position. I think one huge factor for us is that we were able to add another point guard, an experienced point guard from UIW. Nina Delagrion has, she started for them, was an all-conference player, and chose to come here for her last year. And to be honest with you, that, all that load's been on Sydney Love, and to have somebody else that's been able to step in here and take over leadership responsibilities, point guard responsibilities, has really made our team more solid, for sure. And then just across the board, I mean, it's hard for me to bring up individual kids because so many of them have gotten better They've committed to being in the gym, and then we've added some freshmen and a transfer from Mississippi State that make us look a lot different. We look longer, we look bigger, we look faster. Just a matter of meshing. You know, chemistry is always a big deal, and I think that's going to be a big one for this team.
And you got a good non-conference season coming up after that exhibition game with St. Mary's. Some good road tests to kind of get this team ready.
We go to Aggie Land right off the bat.
Yeah, that's a big
Y'all
game.
don't have anything to do. Come on to A&M.
It's a day game too, so you can go over there and come back.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Talk about scheduling that way, because I know a lot of coaches like to challenge the team in the non-conference season, because at this level it really matters what you do in that tournament and how good of a season you have.
Well, I think it's important to try to steal some quality wins, right? and you have to give yourself an opportunity to do that by playing some Power 4 teams. Making sure you're paying attention to strength of schedule of other teams. Some of them we can't avoid really. We were in some home and homes with certain teams, but clearly it matters what you do in the conference tournament.
Right.
That's as real as I can get. You have to be able to at least get to the championship game, and then somewhere along the way, maybe get a quality win somewhere. And I think we're giving ourselves an opportunity to do that a couple of times. We go to A&M, we go to Stanford. Tough opponents, but that's what I think. Kids want to play good people. I think they want the opportunity to do that.
We're in the midst of another great WNBA season. I know your players watch that a lot. You're going to go watch a game this weekend, and it's always good to see that trickling down to schools like UTSA. Yeah,
to be honest with you, we're at the point now where you can really have some real conversations. Not necessarily WNBA conversations, but I think the kid from Mississippi State that we got, if she hangs in here and uses her eligibility for 2 years, then we're going to be looking at another player that potentially has the ability to do that. But I think there's so many players on our team that, Kira just signed a contract in Ireland. First time I think we've had a pro and maybe ever. I'm not sure. I maybe need to check that, but that's their ambition, and I can see some players absolutely being able to do that, so that's exciting. It shows that we've got a different level of talent here and that we're developing them.
What do you think the strengths of the conference are going to be this year, the teams?
Yeah, it's hard for me to say right now. We were talking about that today. Memphis, I think, has added some people out of the portal that jump off at me a little bit. Like this might be some difference-making kids that they got from some Power 4 programs. USF did the same thing. I think UNT will be good again. So I think USF kind of didn't like how they finished last year. They didn't like what happened. So, they reloaded quite a bit really and changed their roster dramatically. And so I think they'll be good again. And Rice should be good. So I think it's going to be very, very competitive. Last year there were 3 that tied for the championship, and then like 6 of us within one game of each other, and I can see that happening again.
Very well. Well, we'll certainly have you and Aston on in starting in January with the basketball coaches shows, and can't wait for that. Have a great non-conference season, and we'll look forward to talking to you again down the road.
I want to say one thing. Now I've been I'm a Twitter person, so I'm gonna I like information. Every time I pull on Twitter, it says so and so's program has sold all of their season tickets. Like every time I look at it, I scroll down and some program has sold them all. Women's basketball is the hottest thing out there right now, and I would just encourage everybody to get a ticket to our games, and let's get out and support these young ladies.
Awesome. Yeah, let's do that. You go UTSA.com, by the way, is where you can do that. All right, that's Karen Aston. We'll visit with Derek Pittman on the phone up in Denton here in our final segment. Fans, thanks to BMW, one lucky fan will win the ultimate home game weekend at the Alamo Dome at our home finale versus Temple on November 22nd. One lucky fan will get a luxurious stay at the historic Maverick Hotel downtown, 2 premium game tickets, a BMW prize pack, and dinner as they cruise the city in a gorgeous new electric BMW X7 SUV. Be sure to check out GoUTSA.com/promotions to register today. It's the BMW Ultimate Home Challenge. And Goodwill of San Antonio takes your donations and turns them into careers, training, and education for those in need, and we fuel the San Antonio economy. Your Goodwill donation can get you free tickets to UTSA games. Bring your gently used clothing and household items to Goodwill today. We'll finish up the show next on the UTSA Sports Network.
It's time for a final.
UTSA Athletics has unveiled its 2024 Hall of Fame class. This year's inductees are Derek Gervin, Monica Gibbs, Michael Rocket, Starlight Williams, and Teddy Williams. The ceremony is next Friday at Pedrati's Ranch on October 18th. You can get seats or tables. Go to goutsa.com/Hall of Fame and be a part of UTSA history. Save time after the game by ordering Taco Cabana online at tacocabana.com or on the MyTC loyalty app. Sign up for great rewards and exclusive offers only at Taco Cabana. Derek Pittman is the UTSA soccer coach, and he is up in Denton tonight, getting ready for a match with North Texas tomorrow. Derek, thanks for joining us, and talk about your team so far this year as you prepare for a big match with a big rival in North Texas this week.
Thanks, Andy. I appreciate you having me on. We've had a good season thus far, although we've dropped a couple close contests in the last couple games. Team is actually playing really, really well right now. We've definitely dealt with our fair share of injuries, unfortunately, during this beginning portion of the season, but our team continues to persevere and fight and, compete every time we step out on the field. We've had some really positive performances, none other bigger than the results on the road at ECU a couple weeks ago, and obviously we're looking to pull off another big game tomorrow night against a very good North Texas team. But got some tremendous leadership on the team with some upperclassmen and seniors leading the way, but also some young talent that have stepped up in many different ways throughout the year, and we're hoping to bounce back with a positive performance tomorrow night.
You won the conference championship the last year that we were in Conference USA. Talk about the challenges of moving up to the American and even more better teams to compete against.
Yeah, the AAC is an extremely difficult soccer league. It's definitely a jump for us. Likes of University of Memphis, who ranked in the top 25 pretty much every year. When we played them a week ago, they were 17th in the country. I think they currently sit at number 15. Other powerhouses when it comes to soccer over the years have been South Florida. They're RPI-wise in the top 50, top 75. Rice has bounced back with a good year this year. East Carolina is always very high up there. So those three specifically are typically at the top of the conference. So for us to continue closing that gap, we learned that last year. We were a bit unfortunate to finish a point out of going to the conference tournament, and we were definitely gutted by that. But one thing we learned is the margins of victory are very, very tight in this league. Every game is going to be a nail biter. Every game can, hinge on a set piece here or a set piece there, or just a breakdown or a moment of brilliance. So, and that's what we've been dealing with. I thought we played exceptionally well against Memphis last week in Memphis, held them scoreless for 79 minutes, and they were able to get free with 10 minutes to go to ultimately score the one goal and win the game. And I was proud of our kids and how they fought and competed. Again, played a really tremendous game against Rice on this past Sunday, and again had a bit of a mental breakdown on a set piece, and their one kid got free that we didn't want to get free, and she was able to finish the chance they created. We outshot them. We created better chances. It's just unfortunately it's not going in for us right now, but I'm proud of where our kids are at. They're showing a tremendous competitive spirit each and every time we line up against somebody in this league.
Tell us about some of the leadership on your team and the players that are performing the best for you right now.
Yeah, you don't have to look far. You start at the back. Sasha Dade has been with us for 5 years as a strong defender for us, playing both center back and outside back for us over the 5 years she's been with us, captain on our team. She is one of the most relentless competitors I've been fortunate enough to coach here. Even in my head coaching time, she's been a fantastic player for us. Sabrina Hilliard's another, young lady that has been a tremendous leader for us. Unfortunately, she hasn't been able to play as many minutes this year due to injuries, but slowly getting back onto the field and playing some significant minutes when given the opportunity. Olivia Alvarez, Zoe May, Jordan Walker, Jordan Highland. I can keep going down the list of some of the upperclassmen that we're fortunate enough to have on our team that continue to put in, really good performances, help lead this young group. in a positive direction. And I know that they're leaving. We talk about leaving the jersey in a better place. And these young ladies, as a senior class, have done a fantastic job of that.
Every coach wants great facilities. You have one at UTSA. You now have your locker room and in your offices and facilities over on Park West. That's something that fans would love to come out and look at, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's been fantastic. Last year we led the AAC in average attendance. This year I think we're right up there as well, in the top 3 in attendance in our home attendance. So again, we've got 3 more home games coming up. We've got one next Thursday against Tulsa on the 10th and a couple more after that. So we hope everybody will come out and pack Park West and continue to support this great team. We're down the stretch. We've only got 6 games left, and we know we need to pull every point possible to continue moving into the top 8 in our league to go on to the conference tournament and have a chance to compete for a championship. So we appreciate the community support. We appreciate what Dr. Campos and President Amy and everybody does for our soccer program and continues to propel us in the right direction.
Very well. Derek, best of luck tomorrow night against North Texas. Have a great season. We'll talk to you soon, and good luck to the Roadrunners up against the Mean Green.
Runners.
All right, that's Derek Pittman. He's the soccer coach at UTSA, and they have a match tomorrow evening against North Texas. All right, Jeff Traylor and players will rejoin us next week when we're out here next Wednesday ahead of the Rice game. If you have not yet seen it, the Rice game time was announced earlier in the week. It'll be a 6 o'clock kickoff in Houston, and we'll be on the air at 4 with the Credit Human pregame show, and of course the Jeff Traylor radio show next Wednesday at 7. On behalf of UTSA Athletics and our military appreciation partner, USAA, we'd like to take a moment to thank all service members, veterans, and their families listening today for your service and sacrifice. USAA serving the military community and their families since 1922. Austin Klotch could not join us this evening. He's recruiting. We'll talk with him during the week here pretty soon down the road. Thanks to Derek Pittman, to Summer Batiste, to Matt Wernecke, to Carol Price-Torok, to Karen Aston, and to all of you for being part of the show. Shane Carter, the producer at the studio. Dan Walters, engineering out here at the site. We'll see you next week for the Jeff Traylor Radio Show. Have a great evening, everyone, on the UTSA Sports Network.